Okay. And we're live. All right, so I'm basically doing these puppy dog drafts. Anyways, they're so much fun. I got talked into doing my first deposit because they match your $100. So you're basically getting a free $100 if you do the full 100 on your first deposit. So I was like, might as well. And I actually really like the platform, and the app is really nice, um, and I got addicted to it. So now I'm doing them anyway. So I figure might as well throw it up here and see if we can get anyone to come hang out and chat. Because drafts usually do last about an hour, and I like to be pretty tentative for them just because I like looking ahead and seeing what we got. So that's a long time to kind of just hang out and see if we can't get some conversation going. So I'm gonna get the first one going and see how it goes. I will say, I originally started doing it for the practice because usually I'll just do like my normal fantasy drafts, and they're like I only do two a year, and like drafting is something you can get good at, and I was definitely bad at it, and my teams previously definitely showed that. I had a good team last year. But I've definitely gotten better for my first draft. Here, let me show you my first draft. My first draft was so bad. Let me show you. This is my first draft ever in a best ball format. So as you can see, I've done 19. So definitely not an expert. I'm still probably pretty bad compared to a lot of you. So, but you're gonna laugh at this first one. This first one is horrible. So I got Lamar Jackson at right around ADP. So that's not terrible. I reached one spot. I actually got Jalen Hurts at a pretty decent price. 6 picks behind his ADP. So that's not too bad. I don't know if I like this elite stack. I don't know. I really don't know if I like that. I like picking two good quarterbacks. But I don't know if I needed to go Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson. I guess we'll find out. I did get a really good deal on Jalen Hurts, so I felt like I had to take him. But, there's some good players going around that ADP, so it's probably not the best method, considering with this level of quarterback, you're usually getting a good week out of them the majority of the weeks, and then I kind of like adding a middle of the pack just to hopefully catch a couple low weeks for your QB1 and pick it up with your QB2. So I got him. My first round pick was Justin Jefferson. I really like this pick just in general. I think Justin Jefferson is going to be the wide receiver one this year just because what he's done the first 2 years is incredible. I don't think Cooper Kupp is going to repeat just because he has more competition in Los Angeles, and I just don't think repeats are. I don't think seasons like that are very sustainable. I think he kind of had his moment. So I think Justin Jefferson's up next. My bet would be obviously Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase for next up. But so I picked him at pick 3 over Christian McCaffrey. I had Christian McCaffrey last year, and I can't get on board. I can't buy him because he hasn't had a good season since 2019, I think. So I'm just not there. So I went with him pick 1. Leonard Fournette pick 2. I really like this because I thought Ronald Jones was actually a pretty good running back. I know he had his fumble problems, but it was definitely some competition. It was taking some touches away. So I like this pick a lot. I've been picking a lot of Leonard Fournette this year. So I got him as my RB1. And then it looks like I came through and took DK Metcalf on the bet that he gets a little better quarterback. I don't think they start the season with Drew Lock, but obviously we'll see. But I'm just, he's a freak athlete. So if he gets a quarterback that can, even with Drew Lock, he might do decent. But if he gets Jimmy Garoppolo, I think he's looking pretty good. I still haven't picked I haven't picked a whole lot of DK Metcalf, though. I will say that. And then you can just look at my next picks. I take up 2 of the first 5 rounds, or I guess it's first 6, with the elite quarterbacks: Leonard Fournette, DK, and Justin Jefferson. I went with the Thielen Jefferson stack. I don't really necessarily like that either, especially since I don't have Kirk Cousins, but it is what it is. Went with Kyle Pitts. Still not liking this. So yeah, this is my first team. I did not like it at all. 2 QBs, 5 running backs, 9 wide receivers, 2 tight ends. I do like that build, but just not with this team. And we can look at my exposure real quick before we hop into it as my most drafted players. This is actually out of date. Let's see if we can get it updated. Yeah, there we go. So OBJ, I'm betting on him getting picked up by the Packers, or I'm hoping the Ravens. Big Ravens fan, so I would love for them to get him, although I don't think he suits their offense very well. I don't think they'll pick him up. I think it'll be the Packers. I even saw reports of him talking with the Browns again. That would be pretty interesting. If they got rid of Baker and he went back, that would be cold. James Conner, I think you can get a really good value. He kind of falls towards the end of the 3rd round, so in my eyes, that's the last elite, or not elite, but top-tier running back. So I usually scoop him as my RB2. I like that pick a lot. Again, same with Julio Jones and OBJ, just betting that they get on a good team. I could see him going to Baltimore just because he's a bigger body, and we like to run it, obviously. This is just Patrick Mahomes just because the Travis Kelce stack. I'm not a huge fan, but if you have Travis Kelce, it's just you got to go with the Patrick Mahomes stack if you can. A little run of wide receivers that I like. I like betting on the end of the season receivers. I think Elijah Moore is just a phenomenal talent, even though his quarterback isn't great. I still like him. I think Corey Davis falls off a cliff this year. I think Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore take over. Devin Duvernay's on the bet that we don't have one of these receivers, and he's our wide receiver too, which he would be kind of like the deep ball threat. So he could have some good spike weeks because in best ball format, you're just looking for the last wide receivers you draft. You're looking for those spike weeks. You don't need them to be consistent. You just need them to have 1 or 2 weeks where they get you 30 points, 20 points. So yeah, and you can take a look at the rest. I've been picking up James Robinson just because in this category you're looking at a lot of running back 2s, and there's still a chance that James Robinson is a RB1. Yes, a bad offense. Yes, he has competition, but I don't know. It's kind of in my eyes, it's a good bet because if he does play that running back 1 role, I know he's coming back from the injury, but if he plays that running back 1 role, that's a great play to get in. I don't know what round you get him in, but it's very late, so I like that bet. And yeah, so these are kind of my top receivers, or top exposures. But let's get into it. So we're gonna do a puppy draft. Get as much exposure as we can with our money. So here we go. Where are we picking? I really don't like the middle range. My preferred time to pick is gonna be in this 10, 11, 12 range. I really like having the turn. You can create builds. Usually, this is the area where someone really talented will fall to you in some of these first couple rounds, and you can kind of make a good 1-2 punch that doesn't have as many combinations, which I'm not a fan of throwing away picks just to make crazy combinations. But if there's 2 players that you like and one's usually at this 2-3 turn and you get you reach on him with a player that might have fallen from mid-range out back, then I like doing that. It's again, still very new. Not sure what techniques work out and what don't, but I got my guys that I like, and I try to build around them. I try to shoot for stacks, and I'm just kind of learning as we go. So we got pick 1 on the clock. Obviously Jonathan Taylor. I think that's your safest bet. This is your classic start right here. If you can get Cooper Kupp at 3 and 4, that's a nice little drop you can get every once in a while. Maybe 5% of the drafts, 10% of the drafts, probably 10. You get that drop. Same with Jonathan Taylor to 2. I don't think he has the season he had last year, but I mean he's gonna be in the top 5 running backs, so it's a pretty safe bet. Jamar Chase going before Justin Jefferson. You don't see a whole lot of that, so I don't necessarily love it, but I understand it. And we are on the clock. What am I gonna do here? I do like Austin Eckler a lot. I'm gonna go Austin Eckler. If this was a normal draft, I don't know if I would go Austin Eckler. Just because these two right here, Austin Eckler and Christian McCaffrey, I'm just too scared about their injury history. Derrick Henry not so much, for obvious reasons, I guess. But the Austin Eckler is so small and Christian McCaffrey has so much history that, in a normal draft, I'm not really trying to take that risk. However, best ball format, if you're trying to go for those top prizes, then you basically need everything to work out perfect. And if their seasons do work out, they can both be a running back 1. So it's a good bet, and especially if you're doing a bunch of these drafts and you can kind of try out different things and you're building different teams. Then you got to take a couple teams with them in there. I haven't gotten any Christian McCaffrey this year, actually, because usually I'm going Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase over Christian McCaffrey. Wide receiver builds are kind of the hot thing to do this year, it seems like. So getting those elite receivers in the early rounds, I find really sets you up. However, I will say, if you look at old Underdog fantasy winners, you do see a lot of running back starts. So I have been trying to not get enticed by these wide receiver builds as much, which is why I haven't taken any Stephon Diggs, I don't think. I've taken Devontae, I've taken Justin Jefferson, Jamar, and Cooper. But, in this range, I'm really betting on Najee this year. I really like Derrick Henry every year. Obviously, Austin Eckler. Dalvin Cook's kind of in that Christian McCaffrey conversation. If you go Dalvin Cook, I think it's a great idea to go Alexander Madison, because whoever's playing is going to have, top 5 running back potential. So if I get Dalvin Cook, I usually try to get Madison in the later rounds. These are all pretty common starts so far. So let's look at our board and see what we're going to try to build. I've been liking Alvin Kamara a lot this year. I think he's undervalued because of his, his last legal issues. But I don't think it will affect him, and I usually like him over Aaron Jones just because A.J. Dillon is such a stud, and DeAndre Swift has Jamal Williams behind him, who's good, and I think they're a pass. I mean, I guess DeAndre Swift is a pass-catching back, but I take him if he falls back to here, 21, 20, 21 and 22, I'll take him. But before that, I usually pick someone else over him. So we're up next. Let's see who. They go Mike Evans. So, yeah, I think I'm going to take Kamara here. Now, we talked about the running backs that I'm worried about getting injured. It's not that I won't take him, but I know later on they're going to eat up another pick, and I do this a lot. I don't know if it's a good method for best ball, but I've been trying it out. If I get an Alvin Kamara, I'll pick up a Mark Ingram later. If I get who else? Let's see. If If I get an Austin Eckler, I'll pick up Isaiah Spiller. Christian McCaffrey, I'll pick up Deontay Foreman. Even Jonathan Taylor, I'll try to grab Nyheim Hines at the end. Because one of them will have a crazy game. If it's not Jonathan Taylor, there'll be a pass-catching game with Nyheim. Derrick Henry, just send him. Just send him. He's a tank, and I don't think there's a back worth getting behind him. Najee, same thing. Don't even worry about it. Just him. Dalvin Cook, I'll get Madison. Joe Mixon, I just let him ride. I'm not really even trying to get A.J. Dillon if I got Aaron Jones. You're kind of betting on Aaron Jones just because of the way A.J. Dillon shakes out. You'd have to pick him up in this range, which to take up 2 of your first 5-round picks on, I think it's first 5-round picks on the running backs on the same team, just for that safety cushion. I just don't. You're wasting too much draft capital, especially when you're trying to win a tournament. If Aaron Jones gets injured, most likely this team's, if you have him, your team's done for that season. You gotta look at your other teams. So this is running back to us. Let's see what we got. I really like Saquon or Javonte if they fall to us. Because what are we? We're pick 30. I would love to get Saquon here and really just lock the running back. Oh. We're going Javonte. I'll probably try to pick up Melvin Gordon if I can, because it's usually one of them has a bigger game. That's how it was last year. But I also could see the Broncos moving more towards Javonte, younger back, more talented in my opinion, more durable. I think they move instead of a 50-50 split. I'm thinking more of 60-40, hopefully 70-30. And if Melvin Gordon is out for any reason, Javonte is a top 5 back every week. So I'm okay with this. Especially because he's my third back. We're not going to take any running backs till very late after this start. Probably look for Melvin Gordon and one more person, maybe even Mark Ingram, and just call it a day at 5. Just get those 2 very low round backups just in case, and just send it. I would grab Isaiah Spiller too. I don't like the range that Isaiah Spiller falls in for receivers, so I'm okay with taking Isaiah even though he's a higher pick. But after this start, let's see when Justin Herbert goes at 45. Do we reach on him? Because we don't have Mike Williams. We don't have Keenan Allen. And I don't like Joshua Palmer or Gerald Everett. Is that his name? Garrett Everett? So I don't think I'm really trying to reach on Justin Herbert here. Even though I like stacking, I don't think this is the stack for this build. Let's see. Do we have any interesting teams? Mike Williams fell pretty late, so it's kind of interesting to have him with Najee Harris, but not, that's happened before. Darren Waller going this early, that's a little, what's his ADP? That's a little different. Pick 36, his ADP is 41. So you're looking at him being taken in this range. Oh, and he took, wow, he reached far on Justin Herbert. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. I'm immediately not worried about him. Although people that don't know what they're doing, they reach on some players. So you'll think you have a pick. If someone's ADP's at 52 or no 55, and you have 54, you're feeling pretty good about getting them. But with teams like this, they're kind of wild cards, so you don't really know. Sometimes they'll reach on someone and just totally snipe you, and that's kind of the unpredictable behavior that they'll bring. Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes stack. We were talking about that earlier. Very common start. Cam Akers. We might get some pretty decent wide receiver values falling to us. Okay, this is interesting. Let's see. 77 is Russell Wilson. Where are we? 78. Do we go Jerry Jeudy if we can and just hope? Oh, no, we don't. I still might do the same with Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton is behind his ADP a little bit. Do I want to bet on him, though? Not really. We're going to bet on Terry McLaurin. I don't think he has consistent big games, but I'm not liking the quarterback situation or even just the offense for that matter in Washington. But I think even as a bad team with a bad quarterback, I think he still has some 20, 30, 2 touchdown, 100-yard games. I think that's in his range. I don't like Cortland Sutton. I was thinking about going for Cortland Sutton and doing the Javonte Cortland Russell stack. And I definitely would have done it with Jerry Jeudy. But I just, I think there's way more talent in the Denver receiving room. And I just don't think Cortland Sutton has... I don't think he has a huge season coming. I think he has some spike weeks like last year. I just don't see him... I know he's a better quarterback, substantially better quarterback, but I just don't like. I like the. I won't say I don't like him. I like the other options. I'll say that. Now, if the Ravens traded for Cortland Sutton, I'm all on. Go Cortland, but in this offense, I think KJ Hamler is very talented. I think Tim Patrick's very talented. And I'm just not. I'm not really willing to make that bet. I think I'd even rather bet on DK getting a good quarterback more than the Cortland Sutton pick. All right. We're going to try to go wide receiver here unless we get a really good value. Lamar is... I mean, if he falls... I think we go Lamar. I'm not loving our stack potential because our wide receiver 1 is... I'm not picking Carson Wentz as a quarterback. So I'm not going to really reach on a stack. And Lamar has upside. I think he has MVP upside again this year. I mean, I know I'm a Baltimore fan, but just his play style, the amount he runs, he's a good enough passer that, and last year he was injured. That he's going to have a down season when you're not on the field. And when he was on the field, his whole offense was gone. No line, no running backs, I mean, I guess I'm not going to say no receivers, but, he was not in a good situation last year. So I think he has a lot of upside this year. And when I have a quarterback like this, I'll wait a long time to get my next quarterback. Sometimes I won't even grab 2. I know it's risky, but it allows you to go extra wide receivers and tight ends if you need it. So depending on how the rest of the draft shakes out, I'm okay with that. And I like to stack him with Devin Duvernay later. Cause I think that's a good shot to take. I was hoping Rashad Bateman somehow made it to us, but obviously that's not happening. Huge wide receiver run. That is not what we want to see. Because, I mean, now with this build, unless we get a crazy value on tight end, we're just going to hammer. We're just going to hammer wide receivers. Being that we went 3 running backs in the first 3 rounds, we're shooting for a numbers game here. I might even go 9 wide receivers, depending on how my tight ends shake out with this build. But we'll see. Right now, I'm just looking for value at the running back position. I mean, the wide receiver position and tight end. I'm not interested in a great value quarterback. And the value for a running back would have to be pretty good for me to go 4 in a row. Actually, I think flip that. I think I'd be more inclined to take a quarterback over a running back. But The goal is to not take either, because we want as many wide receivers as we can. Okay, we're up in 2 picks. No crazy values falling. Jalen Hurts is falling. I don't do that, right? What's our next pick? I'm going to look ahead till pick 78. What's the range we're looking at? Oh, I don't like that range either. 78. Yeah, we can't reach on Jalen Hurts. I don't like Devontae. I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown just because of Williams coming in. I've been doing a lot of Elijah Moore, even though Garrett Wilson's coming in. Haven't done any Drake London. We're going to try it out. Who else was around him? It was, let's see, Elijah Moore. Wide receiver 1 or 2, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Wide receiver 1 or 2, Devontae Smith. Wide receiver 2, Drake London. We haven't seen anything from him yet, but he went. Let's see. He was the first wide receiver off the board. He was drafted at the 8th overall pick, and that's pretty high for a receiver. So I'm willing to take that bet. I don't think Marcus Mariota's as bad as people think. I think he's bad at winning, but I think he can put up stats. So I think he can get the ball to Drake London. Drake London has, top 10. I don't know if I can say top 5, but he has top 10 wide receiver potential, which is what I'm looking for here, especially taking up so much of my draft, not taking a wide receiver. I'm willing to take some shots with the younger guys later on, because your perfect build, if everything worked out and if this was a $75,000 build, then your strong running back start would, you're hoping for 3 scores out of them. Your 2 running back spots and your flex. Lamar's an MVP season. Terry McLaurin hooks up with Carson Wentz. With Carson Wentz, like Carson Wentz hooked up with Michael Pittman last year. And Drake London is a top 10 receiver. That's how that would shake out if we're looking at a tournament winning build here, and that's what you're going for. I do like to get my money back, so I do like playing safely to a degree. But I like taking those shots on the rookies, especially when they're the 8th pick overall. D-Hop or Adam Thielen? I've been drafting a bunch of both of them. I think because Marquise Brown came in, I'm going Adam Thielen. If you remember, he was one of my most drafted players. Adam Thielen is, because a lot of times you can get him to drop to this range. His ADP is 72, 73, 6-7 turn. If anything happens to Justin Jefferson, which we're not rooting for, but if something happens to him, he's top 10 wide receiver immediately. And even if nothing happens to him, he's going to have some top 10 finishes just because of his touchdown upside. I don't like chasing touchdown upside, but the 2 players that I will always do that on, because I think there might be a drop-off from last year, but not substantial comparatively, is Adam Thielen. I think he's a good red zone target that they're not looking to go off of. He's no signs of drop off yet, so I'm liking that. And who's the other one? Mike Evans. He's just such a big body that he's always going to be a red zone target. Tom Brady loves him. I don't take a lot of Mike Evans just because I like doing the running back start. But I don't hate him. I'll take him if he falls really late. Not really late. If he falls 4 picks, I'll take him. Not taking a lot of them though. Can look for a Kirk Cousins stack as my quarterback 2. Where's Kirk Cousins go? 122. What are we looking at? We have definitely not trying to reach on him here. If he falls, we'll take him, but I'm not reaching. A lot of quarterbacks starting to go off. 2 quarterbacks. 1, 2, 1, none. And 4 have none. So we'll probably see a little quarterback around here. Yeah, not taking Trey Lance. I would take Matt Stafford if I had Allen Robinson. I'd probably take 2 quarterbacks in that situation, but we're not going to do that here. All right, what players am I probably not going to get? 94, 95. Alan Lazard. Yeah, I'm not. Ooh. Okay. I don't need running backs, and that's your best values right now. I'm not taking Matt Stafford. I don't trust Allen Robinson. There's too much going on in that wide receiver room. You know, I still think they're going to pick up Julio or Odell, the Packers. I think Sammy Watkins, when he's on the field, he's a good target. I think Christian Watson is a great pick. I think he is very high upside. Let's see. How do we do this? Oh, okay. Christian Watson, yeah. He was just out of the first round. Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback. Big body. Whoops. Boom. So, I like Christian Watson. Allen Lazard I'll only take if I'm going for the Aaron Rodgers stack. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers stack, where's he looking at? Oh, he's looking at 103. What are we on? 103. When's Christian Watson? 107. Yeah, I can't go for that stack. 107. Wait. Yeah, 107. I can't bet on him falling that far in ADP. I mean, in the draft. And Aaron Rodgers off the board anyways. So that's not on the board anymore. I don't love Chris Olave. Michael Thomas is there. Juice Landry's there. I know he was an early round pick, but I just don't love him. Chris Olave 11th. It's a 3rd receiver off the board. I don't know. I don't love it. Dawson Knox goes. One player I don't think has been getting enough recognition or consideration is Robert Woods. I don't like this range because of Olave, Scantling, Chase Claypool. I don't love these situations. He's a 3rd option in the Kansas City offense. Chris Olave very well could be the 3rd option. Chase Claypool very well could be the 3rd option, depending on how he does and how George Pickens does. And there's a very bad quarterback, wide receiver 2 on a bad quarterback team. I'm not loving it. So I usually go Robert Woods here. I think he has a chance to be a wide receiver 1. Everyone's caught up on Treylon Burks, but I think it's very possible that Treylon Burks at best is not at best, but I think it's very possible Treylon Burks goes as the wide receiver 2 on that team. And I mean, Robert Woods is forgotten about because of his injury last year. However, he's a great player, and he got done dirty in Los Angeles. and I think people forgot about him. But he brings like that wildcat threat to the offense as well, so you could see him getting some touchdowns that way. And then half PPR format, I think he's a good pick over the options in this area. I don't think we have any stack potential. When is I wouldn't even mind taking Tannehill. 181. Now I could reach on Tannehill to get the stack, because what that would do would allow me to pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would allow me to pick, 3 wide receivers, a tight end, and a running back, which I like. Like I said before, I don't think you are really banking on your second quarterback if you have Lamar. You're really just you're betting on him having a MVP year with 1,000 rushing yards. I think that's what you're betting on with Lamar. It's not very safe, but I don't hate it. I mean, unless Kirk Cousins fell to us. Not this round. If he fell to us at the 126, I'd have to take him. It's possible. But, and sometimes you think too far ahead. I could be thinking about this Ryan Tannehill stack too much. Let's see. What could I get? I guess there's not too many quarterbacks. Too many good quarterbacks with stacking potential. I've been liking the Gesicki Tua late round stack. I think that's a good option. Even Trevor Lawrence is a bit of a shot. Trevor Lawrence, Marvin Jones stack. I don't hate, because I think that there is potential for a home run with them next year. So I don't hate that. Justin Fields, no. Darnell Mooney's already gone. He is rushing upside, so you don't need a stack with him. I think Byron Pringle, Justin Fields stack is actually Cole Kmet. When's he going? If we get Cole Kmet, all right. Let's do some. There's too many options. Let's see what we're gonna get. 115 is looking around this range. Tyler Boyd will have spike weeks. Rondo Moore I'm not in on at all. I'm on the clock. Okay. Tyler Boyd has that spike week potential. Kenny Galladay is a wide receiver 1 with a bad quarterback. I think in a heavy passing offense, Jamison Williams has the highest ceiling. I think it's in the range of outcomes. He comes into Detroit, is the wide receiver 1. Amon-Ra St. Brown is wide receiver 2. DJ Chark 3. TJ Hawkinson, tight end, and DeAndre Swift. Jared Goff is a facilitator. With that many options, I think it's very possible that the Lions have a above average offense, and when I say above average, I mean top. Let me be careful before I say this. Top 15. I think it's possible they have a top 15 offense. They're going to be down a lot, which means they're going to pass a lot. So I like Jamison Williams. If he's wide receiver 1, then we're looking at a good play here. And again, we're really looking for these top 5 here to piece together 3 20-point games a week. Is he going to have it every week? Not with these 5. But I think they can get it done when you're looking at this top office right here. I think there's a very high ceiling. I'm liking this pick so far. I will say I'm looking at a tight end at this point. When's Gesicki go? Gesicki's 130. Justin Fields 133. Or no, Tua's 134. What's our next pick? 139. Ugh, I don't like that bet. But if he doesn't pick Kirk Cousins, that would be fantastic. If he does, we're going Kenny Galladay. The value's too good. But we got our stack with Adam Thielen. I like that. Going quarterback too. I like that. Quarterback's done. Running back is fine. I'm not rushing to get a running back. I'm still looking at this tight end. We're going to take this off. We're going to uncheck quarterback. We don't need him. But we're really still looking for our tight ends and our wide receivers. Wow. This is a huge reach on both of them. Not as much on Justin Fields, I don't think. Let's see. Justin Fields, 123. Gosh, why did it do that? 123, 133. Yikes. That is quite the reach. And Tua, not a. Oh my God. Also quite the reach. They had to have Jalen Waddle. No. That's a horrible pick. Reach on Justin Fields. Don't even have. Yeah. These guys don't know what they're doing. Maybe they do. Maybe I just don't. They know something I don't. God. It's a first stream, and I will say this, my voice is just gone. I want to do two of these back to back, but we'll see how my voice is holding up. Got to train the vocal cords for this. Where did Russell Wilson has been an interesting quarterback for me. I only have one team with him on it. Just because the way he shakes out, I think I'm usually taking Jalen Hurts over him. But I had a Jerry Jeudy, Russell Wilson, Tim Patrick stack, which I loved. I also had someone else stacked. Oh, I had the Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase on the same team. I like that. I think that was probably my best team, to be honest. I think Jerry Jeudy could be a top. I think he could be wide receiver 1 in the league next year. I don't think it's likely, but I definitely don't think it's out of the question. I think he is in the talent range, not physically, but as a wide receiver, I think he's in the talent range of a Tyler Lockett and even a DK Metcalf. I just think that he's been injured and he's had a horrible quarterback. Especially if Courtland Sutton gets traded, which he's not going to actually. He just signed a contract, so he'll be there. But I think it's very possible. He has a very small role, and Jerry Jeudy is a top wide receiver. What do we got? Jacoby Myers. I hate this pick. And this is what I was talking about. I hate the receivers. He's third, fourth option. I don't like Jacoby Myers. And this is why I usually end up going Isaiah Spiller. He has crazy upside if Austin Eckler gets hurt. And for me, already having Austin Eckler, he's just an insurance policy. So that just kind of shores up my running back 1 spot. And what I'm looking for later on is for this Mark Ingram super late insurance policy at 211, and we are pick 211. It's possible someone reaches on him, but I'm not going to be broken up if they do. Because you're betting on Alvin Kamara here. Where'd he go? I lost him. Mark Ingram, 211. Yep. Going back to what we're looking for. Let's catch up on here. We are in 6 picks. Let's see what the board looks like. Okay. I like this build. I really do actually like this team. We got that Kirk Cousins stack as our quarterback too. You're going to have some spike weeks from him. Hopefully they're on the down weeks of Lamar. I love our running backs, obviously. I think we have a solid middle of the pack wide receiver core, which is fine because we have 5. We're going to hammer some late ones after we get a tight end, but yeah, I like the build so far. Okay. Or you might not have been able to see that. My head might have been in the way. Okay. Yeah, I know where we're going. If he doesn't get taken right here. And he didn't. I like the upside of Albert Akawaka as well. I think after this, your tight ends have a significant drop-off. After Njoku, you're really looking at some bad options. Unless you had a stack. But I think with Russell Wilson coming in, he's going to give you some spike weeks. This is, maybe I'll take a tight end later. This is kind of a middle of the pack. I don't love it being just them. A tight end I've been liking reaching on. Not reaching. A late, one of the few late round tight ends that I've been liking is a Logan Thomas. I really like Logan Thomas. Even above Gerald Everett. No, I think Noah Fant has really great upside if a quarterback comes in, but I don't know. Maybe I should be giving Noah Fant a little bit more attention. Even if a better quarterback doesn't come in, he might be he's going to be the third option, but he might even be a top 2 option if it's Drew Lock, just because he's such a talented, athletic tight end that it might be a safety blanket for him. So maybe even if Noah Fant's on this turn. What pick is he? 170. What are we? No, we're not taking him here. That's for sure. Who are we looking for? George Pickens. I've been liking him in this range. I would have loved DJ Chark just as kind of a safety for Jameson Williams. I don't think you need him with Jameson Williams, but nothing's for sure on these new wide receivers. They could get into training camp and just not be ready for professional speed, and I don't see that happening with either one of them, but it's possible. Nothing's for sure until you prove it in the NFL, so I'm really honestly not loving our options here. We're really rooting for George Pickens. I only say that because Steelers clearly know what they're doing when drafting wide receivers. The last draft picks, not in order, there's definitely some in between, but you're looking at Steelers drafting Antonio Brown. You're looking at them drafting Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool. I'm missing a few, I'm sure. James Washington, I guess, wasn't great, but they have had a good amount of top wide receivers that they have drafted consistently and found them in later rounds. George Pickens also dropped in the draft significantly just because of his off-field issues. So, as long as he can keep himself straight, then you're getting a value there, and he goes anyways. That's unfortunate. I really don't like any of the options now. I might do it. This is different. No, I can't. I was going to do Noah Fant, reach on him. I don't like Joshua Palmer at all. There's just too many receivers in that room. But Robbie Anderson, we'll see. I'll say this. If it's Sam Darnold, right? Yeah, if it's Sam Darnold, we've seen him get spike weeks last year and in New York together. He's a deep threat, so if he connects for 1 touchdown, 70 yards, there's your spike week. So, and I think he has more upside than Joshua Palmer. I don't even know if Joshua Palmer gets 1 spike week. He's the 4th option at best. So I like Robbie Anderson over him. I really do have. I like this range of wide receivers. I really do. I like Marvin Jones potential. He has wide receiver 1 potential. I like Will Fuller potential. He is a prime candidate for a Lamar Jackson stack here as well. Our deep threat right now is Devin Duvernay, and he's a special teams player so far that he's proven. So I think William Fuller has spike week potential. I mean, any deep ball threat that still got it has spike week potential because you really just need 1 connection for that game for them to pay off. Let's see when Mark Ingram will be last round. I don't have to hold my breath on him. So yeah, once I get Mark Ingram, our running back room will be full. Our quarterback room will be full. So between now and next 3 picks we're going tight end and wide receiver. So I'm glad I didn't reach a Noah Fant. I like that we still got Robbie Anderson as an option. And now we're going to take Fant. I think this secures. I think this is a very good combination at tight end. I wouldn't like any 2 of them, but having all 3 of them, I think you're looking at a few. Hopefully their spike weeks line up on different weeks, and they just put together a tight end 1 performance collectively. That's what I'm betting on here. And now, for the next, what is it? 2 rounds, we just go wide receiver. I don't even care where the value is. I'm not taking any tight ends or quarterbacks. Let's see if there's any running backs that I would take. 187. I mean, if Gus Edwards was there, I would take him. But other than that, no. No, I'm not looking at that. Let's see if we can do this. Wait, no. Put this over here. Put this over here. Do we like that? Where's my scroll option? Where's my... I don't have a scroll option, so I don't like that. No. I hate that, as a matter of fact. Okay, we got 7 picks until we're up. And now we just got to hope for these wide receivers to fall. I've been liking Wan'Dale Robinson. I like the shot there, even though he's wide receiver 3. I don't think the Browns go into the season without picking someone up. So I'm not liking Donovan Peoples-Jones at all. I would much rather. That's why I'm taking so much OBJ, because Sammy Watkins has 6 10-point games and then I'll get injured. Wan'Dale Robinson I like. I'll take him over OBJ just because. Well, yeah, no, I will. Just because he has wide receiver one potential. I guess he has wide receiver one potential, but more likely wide receiver two. I think Kenny Galladay is older. He's on the back end of his career. Kadarius Toney looks really good. So if anything happens to Kenny Galladay, or even if they just move on from Kenny Galladay and give Wan'Dale Robinson the chance, then he has some good value in these later rounds. However, he's taken, and now we're looking at OBJ. Once again, I think OBJ also is probably going to play 6 to 10 games. But depending on what team he goes to, he has wide receiver 1, definitely wide receiver 2, all over him. I think he's way more upside than Sammy Watkins. So if we got OBJ, then we're going to take him. Yep. I thought about Julio here because I think we're going to... Do we go Julio? We'll go Odell. No rhyme or reason. I think that's just a bet. They're both injury prone. They're both older. They're both free agents. Unknown quarterbacks. I just see OBJ staying healthier for longer. But, there's no rhyme or reason. That's just how I feel. When you're doing these drafts, you can't get checked out here at the end. I would argue you need to really lock it in here and think first few rounds are you're pretty much taking best ADP. There's not a whole lot of drops. People don't fall a whole lot. But as the rounds go later, if you look at the winning teams from previous years, your late rounds are really what won them the prize money. If you look at these late rounds, Rashad Penny went off at the end of the year. Amon-Ra St. Brown went off. Even Marquez Valdes-Scantling had some big games. Again, Amon-Ra St. Brown, league winner. Gabriel Davis, not league winner, but potentially league winner. And these are all shots. These guys were not established when these guys drafted. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Rashad Penny. You see that in a lot of these. Allen Lazard was a great last round pick or second last round pick. So you see some some recurring themes here at the end, and that's because all these guys do good in your first half for the most part. These guys are the ones that are going to come in and make you that difference. They're what create the unique build. Who went? There was someone I was looking at that went. No? Oh, right. I'm going Devin Duvernay. Just in case he's the wide receiver 2 for the Ravens. We get that Lamar stack. He's a deep ball threat. Spike weak potential. I like that. And who we're shooting for. Hopefully it doesn't get taken from us. Mark Ingram. Just as an insurance policy, because really the bet here is Austin Eckler, Alvin Kamara. But if either one of them gets injured, we would like to have their backup, because their backup, if in the event of one of them being injured, their backup is going to be top 12 potential. almost guaranteed top 12, I would say. They're both on pretty good to great offenses. So whenever you have a running back on a great offense, regardless of how good the running back is, if they get put on the 1 yard line consistently, they're going to have touchdown upside. Even Mike Davis, people like that, they're not extremely talented running backs, but I mean, they're going to get some touchdowns if you put them on the goal line just because they're big enough to run through at least one person, even if it's 60% of the time. Even if it's 40% of the time, if you're on a great offense, your touchdown upside is way higher. I don't even know who Romeo Doubs is. I've never even seen him picked. That's interesting. I mean, I guess he's a rookie Green Bay wide receiver, but that would be a lottery pick if he does anything. People start leaving the room. I wish there was an auto draft button so you don't have to wait the 30 seconds. Although, that might have still been. You have to wait the full 30 seconds. Usually a lot of people check out in these last couple rounds because they don't know anyone, so they don't know who to take a shot on, so they just let auto draft do it for them. But then you get caught waiting in these full 30-second timers, which is annoying, but whatever. Dearness Johnson, I think that's a good shot to take. If anything happened like last year, I mean, he's a good talent. He's just behind two great running backs. So if Kareem Hunt got traded and Nick Chubb got hurt, that could be a league-winning pick right there. I like that. That is home run potential. I don't know what that guy's doing. Trey McBride. No Kyler Murray stack. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Marlon Mack, and we're going to get our last pick. We're going to go with Mark Ingram. Get that insurance policy. So really we're looking for Austin Eckler, Alvin Kamara every week as our 1 and 2. Javonte with spike weeks, possibly coming in at one of those spots or as a flex option. And the rest are just insurance policies. Terry McLaurin, Drake London, Adam Thielen, Robert Woods, Jameson Williams. I think that's a solid core. I don't think it's great, but I think if it all works out, they can put together. They're all capable of 20, 30-point games. I'll say that. So I don't mind that. You have a couple shots here at the end. 1 or 2 spike weeks over the season. That's really all you're looking for in that range. And then I actually really like our tight end room as well. I think that's a solid core. So I'm happy with this team. I think it turned out pretty well. We're looking at 2.826. I don't know how these projecteds are scored. I've never seen one below 2,000. And you see a couple in the 3,000 range, but I mean, even like sometimes you'll see like a 2,400 projected team, which is pretty good as far as projections go. And you'll look at the team, and I'm just not buying it. So I wouldn't pay a whole lot of attention here. So the draft's over. Let's go back. Look one more time. I wanted to look at this. This is in the middle round draft. I think this is a good build, especially when we get Lamar early and go 3 running backs in the start. You really just ignore tight ends till later, put 3 of them in there, and then go for that middle of the pack wide receiver run, which is what we did here. None of these guys are bad. These are all just middle of the pack guys. So I like this build. We'll see. It's a fishing line in the water, and it was a lot of fun. So I think I'm gonna end the stream there. I think I'm gonna go play with my dogs and go to bed. So first stream ever. I'm gonna try to do these at least 3 times a week. I'll stream them, and then they'll go up on my my channel to watch at a later date. So till then, I'll see you guys. I appreciate you coming, and have a good night. If you sign up for Underdog Fantasy, make sure you use code FFX54 to get a match of up to $100 on your first deposit. And you have to deposit at least $10, and it is a 100% match. That means whatever you put in, you will get that much free money back to enter these drafts with. And top prizes for these drafts are $75,000 for the puppy dog and $2 million for Best Ball Mania. So it's a great way to have fun, make some money, and I'll see you next time.